Tinubu seeks National Assembly approval of 1.481 trillion naira 2025 reverse budget. Tinubu seeks National Assembly approval of 1.481 trillion naira 2025 reverse budget. Federal government files criminal charges against Natasha over assassination allegation. Federal government files criminal charges against Natasha over assassination allegation. Still on the Nigerian Tribune this morning, federal government to inaugurate textile clusters in Lagos, agro-processing hubs in Kano. CBN's retention of 27.5% MPR disappointing, but logical, says Nasima chairman. APC adopts Tinubu as sole candidate for 2027. APC adopts Tinubu as sole candidate for 2027, with the rider, governors, National Assembly members endorse him at party's national summits. I am expecting more defections into ruling party, says Tinubu. The Patriots National Constitution Summits, Southwest delegates, others converge on Lagos. Tinubu inaugurates NNPC board, tasks members with boosting oil output. All the details you can find on the Nigerian Tribune this morning. And now to the This Day newspaper. On This Day newspaper this morning, President to new NNPCL board, use your experience to turn nation's economy around. Ribadu, despite challenges, Nigeria safer under Tinubu's watch. Tinubu consolidates on an expanding APC, dwindling opposition weighs counter options. With the rider, APC apparatchiks endorse president as sole candidate for 2027. Don't blame people bailing out of sinking ship. I expect more defections, says Tinubu. Opposition coalition appoints Mark Chair Imoke Amechi II. And now to the Guardian newspaper. On the Guardian this morning, Otedola, Tinubu Cardoso's policies revived investors' confidence. 2027, SDP's Adebayo rejects Atiku, may step down for Obi. 2027, SDP's Adebayo rejects Atiku, may step down for Obi. Akpabio Bello may testify as federal government files criminal charges against Natasha. Akpabio Bello may testify as federal government files criminal charges against Natasha. Dangote slashes petrol price as independent marketers undercut price. Opposition kicks as Tinubu hails defections, APC endorsements. President submits 1.48 trillion naira reverse appropriation bill to Senate. Defect with me to APC or resign, Governor Eno tells Cabinet. Defect with me to APC or resign, Governor Eno tells Cabinet. Vacate our lands before June, TIV Council tells headers. Vacate our lands before June, TIV Council tells headers. The Patriots, Southwest stakeholders demand new constitution, true federalism and equity. All right, all the details you can find on the Guardian newspaper this morning. And now to the Punch newspaper this morning. Federal government directs AMCON to begin shutdown processes. 2027 election. APC backs Tinubu. Opposition searches for strong competitor. APC 22 governors declare Tinubu sole candidate for 2027 poll. Amechi Imoke head anti-Tinubu coalition committees. 52,000 Nigerians relocated to the UK in 2024. 13,500 terrorists, others killed in 2 years, says NSA. Western oil firms exploited Nigeria's weak laws, says Jonathan. U.S. court jails Nigerian for $1 million scam. U.S. court jails Nigerian for $1 million scam. Southwest governors roll out regional economic master plan. All the details you can find on the Punch newspaper this morning. And now to the Daily Times newspaper. INEC launches AI division to enhance electoral integrity. Tinubu not controlled by any cabal, says minister. ESN illegal, Amotekun legal, DSS clarifies. Tinubu presents 1.48 trillion naira reverse budget to reps. Governor Enna urges NIPR to rebrand Nigeria's image. All the details on the Daily Times newspaper. And now to the Daily Trust. That's the final paper we're going to be taking this morning. Assassination claim, federal government files criminal charges against Senator Natasha. Despite 6-time price cuts by Dangote, petrol costs still high. League of Northern Democrats backs coalition against Tinubu. Tinubu's endorsement, what Nigerians sink. Find out the details on the Daily Trust. 1,593 Nigerians killed in road crashes in 3 months. Buses, trucks, trailers behind fatal road crashes. Nigeria tops accidents death charts in Africa. All the details on the Daily Trust, and that's all on the papers this morning. I want to welcome on the table Chris Maduka, as always. Chris, good morning. Thank you for joining.
And good morning, the world. It's a new day, bright and early. We thank God for His mercies.
Indeed, indeed. So there's so much that's been going on in the last 24 hours. Dangote refinery reducing pump price again. I really don't know where this is headed and how we can keep up with these types. Daily Trust was able to capture that 6 times since this reduction started, and this reduction is always around 5 naira, 10 naira, 15 naira. Can there be a total reduction so that people can even also peg whatever expenses that they're doing on fuel, so that there's some sort of stability in that market? Because even as someone who purchased from Dangote, for instance, if you go to Dangote and purchase fuel to resell, by the time you leave the refinery for a certain price, you must have heard, before the one you already bought is finished, you must have heard as a reduction. So it means that you are either losing or you are caught in the wind of this reduction that happens every now and then.
I'm interested in your analysis, so that's why I'm calm and I'm watching. Let's thank Dangote for 15 naira reduction. Whichever way that pendulum swings, 15 naira reduction. Times it by the number of liters consumed. Just times it and see what it goes to the consumer. That is it. Instead of wondering why, what are the factors that are making Dangote, each time you want to reduce, there's push and pull that Dangote is fighting. Why is Ipman still importing fuel up to 870 billion? What happened to Dangote's supply? And their import, like they asked me last time, has not impacted. Only whatever the Ipman people are importing, the only place we hear clearly, loud, of reduction is from Dangote. Has Ipman ever come up to announce they reduce price in fuel? That didn't tell you there's a fight against Dangote, and he is fighting for survival because he can only work within the market. If the market is so toxic, you were asking if they import 870 billion naira worth of fuel within how many months? Don't they compete with Dangote to reduce?
Yeah.
Are they importing at the same price Dangote? So what's the big? So why are they importing? So this, as you can see, how confused everybody is when you are talking about this. The confusion we are deliberately set in oil and gas, and the people who put the confusion know themselves. So if Dangote come and announce to Nigerians that 15%, let us hail him. They say to Dickens and Cromwell, he can do. If you praise a strong man that he has done something, he gathers more mouths to do another. Let Nigeria begin. How many times has he reduced? Who else has announced reduction? Has NNPCL announced reduction? Has Ipman announced reduction? And they're all in the same market selling oil and gas and fuel. The same people who gave in crude for Naira cannot announce a reduction. Is him producing within the same economy with all this harsh, toxic competition against one man. They won't even allow him to breathe. That is what you see. And it's still someone's courage, because he said, there was one thing that said earlier times, over 3 months ago, he will produce fuel, PMS, and is storing at great cost because people are not coming to live. So there is a sabotage. Clear. So let him drink the fuel, let's go and import. Why are we, is it not too confused? The same bug of Nigeria biting every sector. Why are we going to going to Sokoto to look for what you have in our Sokoto? What? And you call that we want to stay here and have peace? Thank Dangote for, let's not even carry this confusion, because you don't even know who to trust. So whatever you see that's clearly now is obvious. Now, have you asked yourself, we here, since you are in Southeast, since the announcement of reductions, when you hear announced, have anybody trickled down to Enugu where you stay? Have you noticed very clear? Can you go to any filling station in Enugu now and see 15% in reduction in their in their filling stations?
Averagely, fuel is supposed to be selling at say 900, 905, according to the news item. Every other place, of course, is low.
There was a time Dangote announced 855 or 859. He didn't still sell. He was buying on the average of 1,000 naira. So what are we talking about? So I don't know. They come in here to talk until they told a man who doesn't understand Igbo. He said, "Otolobabu." I say, until I see it from my eye. If I see it with my eyes, I will agree. Let's see here. Dangote, good move. 15 naira is something. If you can reduce more, we'll thank you more. But let's see it at the downstream, where we are as poor masses in Nigeria.
Well, he's not in control of that particular downstream anymore. He's just out to do his business.
That's what I'm saying. You announced. Is it not the same people go there to deliver? And let's see how it goes. Let's just see it trickle down. Whatever forces. You see, okay, you're coming back to my thinking. If Dangote reduce, why is it that the people who are buying from Dangote, why are they not selling at the down what they call it, the filling stations? Why are they not selling at that same price that they're buying from Dangote? Well,
interesting.
The federal government files criminal charge against Natasha over assassination allegation. The assassination allegation was filed against a fellow senator. Incidentally, the fellow senator is the president of the Senate. And all the allegations that Natasha has filed against the president of the Senate, the federal government did not take interest until it says his life is threatened. And it's federal government that will file suit against Natasha. I'm just saying, the way, I'm asking like a common man with a very innocent mind, every Nigerian will, because when you hear government of Federal Republic Nigeria against one senator that is vulnerable, that's a woman, in a modern world like this, when we are talking about handling the gender with caution and streamlining, or whatever they talk about it, the equity and equality, the federal government cannot still find a way of going in a closed door and talk to all this. What the federal government has summoned courage to charge Natasha to court. Good luck to federal government. When you use, if that Natasha as a senator said a fellow senator or whatever is happening around that senate is toxic to her life and her life is not safe, the federal government take it upon themselves to file suit against Natasha. It's a wonderful move. But Nigerians know that the federal government have so many suits to file. They've not filed suit against killings that Zulu is shouting in Borno. We have not had federal government file suit in Benue. They've not filed suit in Plateau. They've not filed suit in everywhere. They've not filed suit where seven inmates just left the prisons and they've gone. And yesterday we had 2,000 prisoners are at large. Federal government have not filed suit. We leave the substance of pursuing the shadow. Once you get Natasha subdued, whatever you want to do, then federal government can now breathe. And then at that point, they can face our problem. Good luck. It's who am I to challenge federal government? Federal government of Nigeria is the federal government of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Their decision taken on our behalf to kill one senator or take her to jail, whatever they want to do with Natasha, at that time, they can now face the hunger and hardship facing us. It's wonderful. And this security. It's wonderful. Tinubu and APC, government money for government house. It's a wonderful thing. The only thing that has made the news there, because if you are the presidential, before now, he had the title of the leader of APC in Nigeria. Before he won the election in 2023, became the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria, who becomes the flag bearer. And whatever name they call in political parties in Nigeria when you are that position. Now, the issue of 2027 is building up. The same party gathered and said, only you will know. That is not news. It's not news. It's government money for government house. Jagaban for APC, for presidential candidate. It would have been an overkill for anybody to dare. Our concern is that all the democratic processes are being destroyed, so nobody could come up and say, even if you put a poster on the wall that said, "I'm contesting against all." As at that time, there was something discussion we were having off camera. You were telling me, you said about 87 NAS members are defected. Is it? But I didn't remember to ask you, is it at the Senate or the Federal House?
Both.
Now at both house. So if you, out of the 109 senators, minus the ones who are already APC at the Senate, whatever percentage of 87 that are there that have joined APC, count it. Go to Federal House of Reps that have about 340 something. Take away the percentage of 87 that are there. Remove the ones that are APC already. Check the balance. All those who know how to do X equal to times X over X times 2, all those index. Do it and you know that Nigeria democratic system has collapsed into one party. And that's what it's going to. It's not, nobody's against it, because even the president of Nigeria, who is the leader of APC, said he's expecting more people to join. That he has not seen anything wrong in one party, is that people are seeing sinking ships and they are joining. But I remember that the Jagaban himself, when he started this ambition to be Nigerian president, ran under several political parties. There was time he was for ADC. It was that time he was for AD. There was that time he was until they had the arrangement with CDC, until they came to where they are. He never joined the ruling party. He fought under opposition until he got to the position of being Nigerian president. Why didn't he see anything wrong with everybody collapsing it? Will the boss of APC, I keep saying, accommodate all these heavy weights of Nigeria? How are we going to have checkmate? Are they saying that Nigeria is inventing democracy? Are we practicing democracy? Are we inventing democracy? That when we all people go into one party for the next election and that same party wins, that all will be well? We should look at where we're coming from and look at where we're going, so that when we get there, we will not check the distance. With this blind interest, I see it as blind selfish interest of the central party, when they didn't see anything wrong with it, because they control everything. What makes you an objective person It's even when you have opportunity to hit below the belt to gain political advantage that you stay off and say, this is not right. If we don't do that because we want to win election, oh, good luck. But even at that, that is not the person who called the police that wins in the court. There are still some people who are pulling up their head and say they cannot bow. SDP is still shaking their head. And of course, there's a platform that has had coalition trying to at least show some sameness in Nigerian politics, so that the world will look at some people and say, some people here, in the name of politics, still have ideology. If not, even it's only that, the record, the history of Nigeria, we hold those people high. Instead of these one-chance politicians, you know, when you are moving around, then we always use the Nugu and staying as a point of excuse. Boss, if they're loading you are entering. That is it. So is this one-chance politicians, when they hear APC boss, they all jump in. Where are you coming from? They don't know. Meaning that they never ever had an identity. These are faceless, identityless politicians. That is it. They're not asking, where is the ideology? What ideology does the party have? Or are they collapsing all the ideology in what? So that the people who are coming to vote, we know. What actually makes some people vote is probably, some people say they have mother and child as their logo, meaning that they have welfareism and they will care for family. Where is that? What ideology do APC have? What ideology do PDP have? What ideology do all the parties? Have they collapsed it into one party? And at what point do they now sit down to adjust and say, let this ideology join this and do the puzzle? I call them one chance politicians, and they are jumping ship. If you are jumping ship with them, be careful. Is AMCOM, they're shutting down? As it mean that AMCOM has finished the job for which
I think we will need more insight on that particular story, because I'm not too sure whether it is AMCON shutting down or AMCON shutting down other companies.
Because they said AMCON starts shutting down process. I don't know. But a governor is threatening all the people. He say, it's either you defect or you resign.
That's Governor Eno of
so that's it. If you don't defect with me, you resign. That's a good option.
Would you have resigned if you were in his cabinet?
If you have an identity, if you are one chance politician, why should you resign? If the person, one boy or you are Oga, did not resign and join, and is threatening you to resign and or resign or join, 90 million flies eat shit. So why not join them?
Interesting. Chris, many thanks again for your insights on the headlines on the daily. So we're back after this short break. Just stay with us.
Save Nature TV. News in your pocket.